Today we're going to talk about the 3 biggest women's weight loss myths. It's your boy ESV, by the way. So there are a lot of myths in the fat loss industry. There's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of confusing information. There's doctors that conflict with other doctors. There's Izzy the influencer fighting with Sarah the glute guide goddess. Who do you believe? What do you do? I'm here to simplify all that shit. So let's talk about the biggest myths that keep people in this fog of confusion, misinformation, and not knowing what the hell to do. Number 1 that I hear the most, you burn fat with cardio. Or in order to burn fat, you must do cardio. Think about Hollywood and how it portrays fat burn. It's usually someone running or on a treadmill or doing some kind of high intensity interval type of workout. And I'm here to tell you, cardio is the dullest tool in the toolbox when it comes to fat burn. Here's why. Let's just simply break down how the body burns calories every day. The number 1 requirement for fat loss is to be in an energy deficit, meaning energy that you expend is more than the energy that you consume, or the energy that you consume is less than the energy that you expend. Either way, when we look at total daily energy expenditure is how we burn fat in its entirety. So how it breaks down is roughly the average person, 70% of your calories burned every day comes from your basal metabolic rate. This category is the amount of calories that your body burns just functioning, living, existing, circulating blood, your respiratory system, cellular regeneration, everything involved in the metabolic process. And that is the biggest chunk of the calorie burn pie. It's influenced the most by your active thyroid hormone you have circulating in your bloodstream and body composition. Your muscle tissue to fat ratio determines a lot of how many calories you burn because muscle tissue is calorically more expensive. Take someone like myself, I can just sit here and I'll burn 3,500 calories plus because I have a lot of muscle tissue. So people with more muscle tissue burn more calories at rest from their basal metabolic rate than people who don't have a lot of muscle tissue. And that is also why we burn less calories as we age, because as we age, we're more at risk for muscle loss because of hormone decline and because we don't normally consume as much protein as we did in our youth and we don't move as much as we did in our youth. So 70% or more, or a little bit less depending on lifestyle, determined by your basal metabolic rate. 15% or more is determined by your non-exercise activity. So this is all of your activity outside of your exercise. And so when we think about what that encompasses, step count is a huge depictor of how active someone is or is not. So people with a high step count always burn fat easier than people with a lower step count. And when I say step count, I mean consistent count over time. I get this question all the time. Why are steps so important? Well, how long is an exercise session? 30 minutes to an hour. How long is a day? 24 hours. So you think that 1 hour is going to burn more calories overall than what you do in the other 23? Yeah, I don't think so. So 15% or more comes from your non-exercise activity. 10% or more comes from the thermic effect of food. This is the amount of calories that your body burns digesting food, because that takes work. It takes work to break down food in your body. Protein has the highest thermic effect of food. The more protein you eat, more calories you will typically burn from this category. The remaining category, the last 5%, exercise. Okay, so now we are coming to a realization that most people get it in reverse. They're like, oh, if I want to burn more calories, I'll exercise more. No, that's only an hour out of your day. 2 hours max if you're a competitive athlete. So what you're doing the other 23 hours of the day has a much higher impact on your energy balance in total than what you do in that small portion of your day. Now, when we think about all the other categories, which activity do you think will influence our other categories the most? Cardio, which builds no muscle, or weightlifting, which builds muscle? I'm gonna take option B. The more muscle you have, the more calories you burn at rest, the more calorically expensive your body becomes. Cardio doesn't even make a dent. And yet people sit here and act confused. Why can't I lose weight? I'm doing all this cardio. 1, because you're not tracking calories, you're eating like an offensive lineman. And 2, because cardio means fuck all in terms of fat loss. So when people message me and they're like, oh my God, I lost 50 pounds using your method, it's really not my method. It's just my way of explaining how our body burns calories and leveraging that to your advantage from a lifestyle, exercise, and nutrition perspective. That's it. I don't have a super secret blueprint. I just know how we burn calories and I do what makes sense. That's why our clients get the results that they do. Second biggest myth, and this is a big one. Carbs and sugar and or certain foods make you fat. Holy shit. The evidence is abundant on this. Neither carbs nor sugar have an effect on your ability to burn fat. Now, I'm not talking to you people who have autoimmune diseases or a certain allergy to food. If you have an aversion to carbohydrates or a specific food group because of an autoimmune disease, I'm not talking to you. This information is for the vast majority. You need to work with a physician physician if you have some kind of autoimmune disorder. But outside of that, nobody is carb averse or carb intolerant. All that matters when it comes to fat loss is your total calorie and your protein intake. That is it. There is no superior route to fat loss. I need you to hear this because carbs and sugar are demonized more than any other thing. And people tell you, oh, I cut out sugar and I lost 30 pounds. Yeah, Deborah, because you're consuming less calories. Same thing for fasting, by the way. Yeah, if you eat half the day, you're gonna consume less calories and lose weight. Fasting isn't magical. It's not fairy dust you sprinkle on your fat loss journey. Autophagy happens from a caloric deficit, and exercise, it's not unique to fasting. You're just eating less fucking food, and that's what causes the weight loss that you're experiencing. I will go toe to toe with anyone on this because the evidence is in my corner. The other part of this is certain foods make you fat. It's not carbs, it's not sugar, it's not fat, it's not any one food group or one thing. It is a lifestyle issue. It is a miseducation issue. It's overconsumption of highly palatable processed foods. The standard American diet is fucking abysmal. It's sedentary lifestyle, and it's chronically under-consuming protein. That's the obesity crisis. Last myth, number 3, supplements help you burn fat. Let me just kill this one. There's not a single solitary supplement on the market that if you take, it will help you burn fat. Not raspberry ketones, not motherfucking fat burners, not thermogenics, CLA, none of that shit helps you burn fat. Think about everything I just laid out for you and the way that we burn calories every single day. There's no supplement that makes one of those categories higher. There's no supplement or injection where you inject lifestyle, where you inject protein intake, where you inject weightlifting. Unless you have the 4 pillars of averaging a caloric range, averaging a certain step count, averaging a sufficient protein intake, and getting stronger, no supplement's gonna help you anyway. Even protein, creatine, etc., the ones with some data behind them, none of them will do anything unless your lifestyle is checked. Those are the 3 biggest fat loss myths, weight loss myths. Hope you got value from this. It's probably a little bit of a slap in the face. That's what I'm here for. I do it compassionately. It's not a backhand. It's just a little, hey, get your shit together. And also, here's how to do it. That's my content. Love y'all. Have an awesome rest of your day.